defensive ebook, so I'm going to go ahead and start uploading these short lives so that we can teach you guys how to play better defense in Madden. Like I said, don't hesitate to donate to the channel. All right. So the first thing that we want to do is just want to kind of teach you the soft squats as a user adjust versus various sets, and teach you how you can use them to, you know, keep yourself from trying to use her too much on the field, because basically what it's going to do is going to bracket off and then play to the flat. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of ideas here. We'll just do like bench concepts. Okay, now if I'm playing from man, you're already going to have some off leverage situations. Usually in formations like this, you might have a cross man or something, and he's got to come to the other side of the field to, you know, to defend his guy, and it's not necessarily what you always want most of the time. So what I like to do here is I'm going to go ahead and teach you how the soft squats. Hopefully the AI doesn't try to bamboozle me here, but usually, like I said, you'll user this guy, but mainly you just want to kind of pay attention to the soft squats, and then I'll break it down. So I'm just going to kind of set up the defense real quick to kind of take that away, and hopefully he's just passing the ball or whatnot, but try to read off on the soft squats, and then we'll slow it down. Okay, care less about what he's doing right there. I just want to teach you guys the soft squats. All right, so the way the soft squats work is they're gonna play anything vertical until anything crosses underneath. So if we're playing a man defense, you know, obviously I'm gonna have the man slotted up with the safety on the tight end, over the top, and the slot on the slot. Okay, so we're good there. As far as what happens with the soft squat, it prevents it from necessarily being in bad leverage versus any situation where, you know, someone might try to do a quick man beater or something. You know, it's going to basically just play directly to the flat. Now, if they throw the corner out because it is a zone, it's going to react as soon as the ball gets thrown. So I'm going to go ahead and play to take away this running back, see if we can force a situation where he throws it to one of the flats. Kind of slow it down for you guys. Take the check down away. See, he's not going to have a lot of leverage really to throw it and, you know, gain a lot of yardage. So we kind of slow it down here. Like I said, they will play both routes. See how he gets in position where he can defend both routes. So if they decide to throw the ball, you kind of look at the quarterback. So you see, if he sees anything, he's going to play the ball aggressive in that position. He can play both routes. And we have the inside leverage with the slot over the top. So if he tries to misplace that ball, we're obviously going to get a jump. Instead, on this side, he's going to be aggressive to the flat, but he's also going to play that corner route. Unlike a cloud would just straight play that corner route and just give up the flat completely. But as you see right here, as soon as the ball's thrown, he breaks to the ball. You're not going to necessarily get a lot of yards after the catch. It's good to have this style of defense because a lot of people want to try to make the big play. Okay, they might force something down the field as opposed to necessarily making reads or anything. So I'll try to find a formation where running backs block. so they won't keep doing these check down routes, okay? All right, so again, we'll do the soft squat over here on the left. Usually when I'm doing these versus spread sets, I'll get more into it, is if I have that much opening, usually what you're gonna do is people will try to run like slant combos against you if they see you're in man coverage. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna combine these match zones with drop zones, okay? So if you know which side they're targeting, you know, on a specific basis, like right here, I probably wouldn't go 2 soft squats. You know, I might go cloud over there, soft squat on the weak side, and then you might just put straight curl, like hook curls and vertical hooks. Like I might put a vertical hook there, and then I might put a hook curl there. So I might go match on one side, drop on the other, you know, and that would protect me against, you know, slant combos or anything like that. You know, it's just something that you guys could consider or whatever. But we're gonna let the play run just so that you guys can kind of see, you know, what's going on. I'll break it down for you guys. Oh shit, my bad. Let's do it again. Alright, so a soft squat, vert hook, hook curl, cloud flat, right? And then we'll just get the adjustments. Now don't mind that he caught the ball. Practice mode, that happens. I just want to kind of make sure that you guys understand everything's getting covered. We can go over making the plays later. Alright, so the soft squat, like I said, if anything breaks to the flat, his primary responsibility becomes the flat. Okay, so with him, the flat being already manned up, you got bracket coverage on a possible playmaker. So that if they try to playmaker that, it's not gonna work because you got a man and a zone on it. Because we did that, because we had the soft squat with the man, we put someone in a vert hook, which will also match up as well. So he's gonna play the inside as if he's going inside. He goes out, so he plays the outside inside to take away that passing lane. And then with your user, you could probably hook curl to take that slant away. You're manned up, always leave your slot corner in man coverage. You see right there, he stays in man wherever he goes. Even if you're playing a drop zone, just always man up your slot corner, okay? As far as the soft squat on this side, he's gonna play it. Like I said, we're still got this guy manned up. And that's pretty much all you want to do, guys, is you want to make sure that you bracket your coverages off. So do it one more time, soft squat. And I can play with my, you know, optionals on vertical hooks and, you know, hook curls or whatever. So I might go like a vertical hook or I might play the vertical hook on this side. Let me play it. Or let the dish pass rusher go to a vertical hook there. And then just put a hook curl and then a soft squat or a cloud over there. So that, you know, just so you guys can understand. Vertical hook takes the flat passing lane away, nowhere to go. Okay? So it's just an idea. Like, you don't always need to have deep blue zones. As long as you got guys in man coverage, you're not going to have to worry about anything really over the top. Now, it's optional if you want to shade over the top, but shade over the top before you make your user adjusted zones. However, when you do shade over the top, you do give up on plays like comeback routes, stop routes, curl routes, stuff like that. So just kind of be mindful if people start to catch on to that. But again, like I said, the soft squat is going to play anything to the outside. Because we manned him up, he's bracketed with the man coverage. Slant's going to be covered with the vert hook, and then we can pass it off with our user. Doesn't make you, with your user, you don't have to really sit there and play for anything else. You just got to play for what's coming to you, and you can pass it off. So like I could pass it off to the other, and then if I wanted to, I could come back for the quarterback. I know everything's covered, so we'll run it one more time and then just kind of show you. Or if I wanted to, I could mid-read it instead of running. Like I could mid-read him, vertical hook. Soft squat, cloud. I could run it like that. And you can just optional just try to pass rush. And as you can see, he's not going to be able to throw it to the flat. Slow it down. One more time. As you can see, the vertical hook puts itself in position to take away the slant and mid reads in position for the carry. And the flat route gets played. Okay, one more time, and then we'll talk about quarters. So you soft squat, vertical hook, mid read, and I could probably opt to go add a seam flat to this. That means if anything, like if 87 runs like a stick concept where he hitches and then goes out, that seam flat will play that. Seam flat's not going to play like a curl. I know a lot of people make that mistake where they'll assume automatically that they just need curls for every situation, or they adjust seam flats on the field and they think that they're supposed to play outside the numbers. No, they're going to play number 3. If he goes vertical, they're going to play him up the field. If anything goes to the flat and short, he's going to take it to the flat and short. Okay, so it's a match zone principle. It's just something that you guys got to understand. Other than that, we're going to let it play out so that you guys can see what's going on. Only thing I've seen, probably the mid-read played a little bit deeper than he should have. But as you can see, the soft squat takes away the flat. It's bracketed with the man coverage safety. The vertical hook takes away the slant. Pass off was a little bit, so you might want to user the pass off. Since he's not necessarily going deep, usually the mid-read is going to play the deep crossers as opposed to slants. So you could probably play a little underneath if you wanted to. Seam flat is going to play 87 up the seam. He's going to get underneath. That's what I like about this match zone right here. It will get underneath those little quick outs. If they try to quick pass it, you will be able to jump those for interceptions if that's what they think. They see you constantly in man coverage. I guarantee you someone will try that against you. Okay, so if he does try to get the quick pass, that we know for a fact that's going to be jumped by the seam flat. And like I said, seam flat is not necessarily going to play anything too far outside like a curl flat would, but it will play anything close to the numbers until anything to the numbers is kind of carried off. Because we do have a cloud flat over there, we are in front of the curl as well. So it's a nice zone to kind of play both. And what I could have did with my user, I could have probably opted to cross man, take on the user. I'm going to show you one more time. See if we went soft squat, vert hook, and then put the man over there on him like that, then played the hook curl right there, seam flat and cloud. We could do it like that. Okay, it'll be a 2-man rush. It's gun empty, so I'm not really, worried about throwing, running the ball. So it should be good coverage. Should be brackets everywhere. You see he's got nowhere to go. Break it down for you fellas one more time. Again, soft squat's going to play 10 to the flat. It's going to match up. If 17 goes vertical, I'm going to explain this in just a sec. It's going to change up a little bit. This is just, you know, people constantly see you in a mid blitz. They're going to think they're going to get, you know, get over on you by just doing little slant flat combos. But as you can see, right there, it's bracketed off. Vertical hook is going to pick up the slant. The cross man is going to carry. I think the cross man played a little bit better than that mid read. Hook curl plays out in front as a bracket, so if he tries to pass lead in front, we got a zone out in front of it. Got the seam flat playing out in front of the curl. The curl's matched up, so both of these zones are bracketed. And then you have your fastest corner and main coverage over the top on the slat. Okay, so you can see he really doesn't have anywhere to go. Pretty solid coverage. Now, if there are situations where they don't necessarily do that, let's say they want to go deep. Let's say let's go in a 2-by-2. Let's say your situation is let's just go Y-cell for instance. Let's say you do the soft squat on both sides, and then you have maybe a mid read, you know, just to start off and kind of get a read for how he's beating you, and then we'll make the adjustments from there. Okay, and then we'll slow it down. All right, I'm gonna break it down. At the soft squat on the outside, so if 10 goes to the flat, he should cover 10. Pressure actually got to the quarterback that time from this formation, which you know, is a good thing about this formation. It will generate pressure. It will have situations where, you know, quarterbacks will make bad throws. I do see that the flat opens up, so I could probably put, instead of a soft squat over there, I know he'll probably play down to it. But what I probably could do is, you know, maybe put a curl flat over there. We'll kind of play with it a little bit. So let's say I want a hard flat over there, and I'm playing a curl flat, mid read, so I don't have to worry necessarily. And the only thing that I'm worried about is if I'm playing that running back to the flat, this safety does not need to be a man, because what's going to happen is he's going to basically give up his side of the field. So sometimes I might just put a hook curl right there and let him play that assignment. So we have everything kind of bracketed off. Go ahead, run the play. You got beat with the man beater route. So sometimes, like I said, soft squats might tend to play a little deeper, like especially if their route goes vertical, he's going to be man everywhere he goes before he can break to the flat. So underneath routes like that, like a deep dig and a underneath crosser, you might want to try something a little bit different schematically versus that. So what I could do, let's say I could probably play the slot corner to the hard flat, keep that hook or inside quarter on the safety, and then I could probably just leave that guy in man. So I could probably, instead of putting the soft squat on the outside corner and making him play the number 2 receiver, I can make the inside corner play the flat and make sure that he's man everywhere he goes on the number 1 receiver. And then what I can do at that point is go ahead and put my safety in the inside quarter, and then obviously we might play like an underneath hook zone or something, and then something to defend the flat, you know. So we could probably play it like that. Everything's manned off on the other side. We've got our bracket zone underneath. I'm gonna go ahead and just run it so that you guys can kind of understand what's going on. Coverage standpoint, everything was pretty much covered. Let's slow it down. So like I said, we went the hard flat right here. We walled it off with the vert hook in case he decided to change his route concept. If he was going to run a slant or something, you know, the hook curl would have kind of gravitated to pick it up. Proceeded to go to the flat, hook curl, played 2 reed, tried to cut off the inside dig. I think the only thing that I could have done differently, I probably could have took that user and played that hook curl to get underneath. I think as far as everything else, you know, the adjustments we put on the field, see, we got a Mabel coverage off without having to put like crazy zones on the field, you know? Like a lot of people be trying to teach you guys just Mabel everything to the left or Mabel everything to the right, but you don't necessarily have to do it like that. You know, if you're playing certain types of man coverage, you know that your slot can, you know, definitely take away the inside. You can man up on the outside, go all the way, and you can probably, you know, optionally take defensive ends or pass rushers and just play the flat. I wouldn't really play anything deep, you know, too often with pass rushers, seam flats, only if they're hitting you with stick route concepts. If they're constantly going like corner routes or anything like that, don't put him in seam flats because he's going to get carried too far down the field. Okay, so only if you're getting beat with spacing concepts and quick release, where, you know, they're getting you for like two or so yards. That would be the only time that I would consider calling a seam flat. Other than that, like I said, we can go in here and change adjustments again and see. We know we can play the flat there. We can play the hook curl, and then I can probably play. Actually, I can play the hook curl there, and then I could probably use or hook the other side. We can play the flat and then just everything man up, right? So another thing that we can do, we can go ahead and set up our D-line pressure, and then I'm going to play to take away the dig. Like I said, everything is mainly going to be covered. I mean, you'll give up completions here or there, but for the most part, they're going to have to earn everything that they get on their drive. Okay, so now let's kind of go more into the quarter zones on the outside. The way I think about these quarters is they're going to play deep inside leverage on the receiver. So if a receiver runs a dig, a post, anything deep and inside, he's going to be man everywhere he goes. There's nothing going to really put him out of position too much, other than the fact that he's going to be chasing that route everywhere he goes. So if someone hits you with a scissor combo, you know, you might give that up. You know, a lot of people, like I said, they run these outside quarters and they just assume that that zone is supposed to be defended, and they fail to realize that quarters is a match zone principle. So I teach you the match zone principle, then you'll know when to use it, and you won't be in those situations, okay? Let me give you an example right here with a deep dig from the slot cross. So all I'm going to put on is the outside quarter just to show you how he's going to play. If I'm not mistaken, let me take Waller away so that you guys can see. Once you know how it plays, then you'll learn how to take things away from, you know, whatever they're trying to beat it with. So we'll take Waller away just so you can throw that, okay? Now I just want you to kind of focus on what the outside quarter does. Like I said, if he plays that dig, he's going to get the backside of it, but that's fine, you know, like in case they try to playmaker or anything like that, or if you get a throw under pressure, you know, you should be in good position to play the ball. But as you can see right here, he's not going to play anything to the outside. He's going to play the deepest route on the outside. So if he cuts inside, he's going to be right there with it. Okay. So basically, you can use that to kind of force, you know, where the ball is going to be open, and you can bracket that coverage zone off with like a drop zone or something like that. That way, you always have 2 men to the ball. Okay, so if I'm looking right here, I know I was just planning to take Waller away. What I could do with my user is I could, you know, take one of them guys. I could probably cross man somebody, you know. Give you an example right here. Let's say I decide I want to cross man with a linebacker, put the outside quarter over there, and then just play it like that, okay? Obviously, he's going to try to throw it to check down, but we'll slow it down and show you what happens. So if you do it like that, you have a zone on the backside and a man in front. As you can see, the dig route isn't going to necessarily get open. And you have other options that you can do. Like if you feel like if this guy, he's going out too far, you can change it up. Like let's say I put him in outside quarter, man him, and then man him like that. You know, I could do it like that to play it, and then because this guy's defending the running back, I could probably be on this side or whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want to kind of show you guys how to deal and bracket these coverages off. Okay, so we'll slow it up. And you can see right here, he's going to play the backside on the dig. And your guy in man coverage, he overran it a little bit. So sometimes I might opt to be like, okay, if he's too fast, he's overrunning it, you know, let's try the safety. You know, it's like always change your adjustments up to what works. So let's say I decide to do it with safety, and then I want to play the vert hook right there. That way I can triple team that route without making like a shitload of adjustments. Okay, so there's just some stuff that you guys can consider. And I could probably just man up the running back just so he doesn't do anything bewildering, right? I'm going to run the coverage as is that way so that you guys can see. I did give up Mac, but I had Devontae basically just locked up. So kind of slow it down for you guys again. Just with two adjustments, we put a cross man safety, the outside quarter, and a vert hook. So I could have probably had, if I had the vert hook, I probably could have put a mid read. So let's try it again. So it'll be outside quarter, man the safety, vert hook, mid read, and then I could opt to kind of put another zone like a curl flat or something like that, you know, and then just rush forward. You know, I'm just trying to think of the levels that could happen without changing too much on the other side of the field, without giving up anything to the flat or anything like that. It's just kind of stuff that you have to really think about when you're setting your defenses up. Like, am I going to give up something, you know, trying to take something away? You don't want to do that, okay? So just kind of run it as is. Just kind of break everything down. Yes, I did give up the drag, but you know, that's completely okay. You're not going to necessarily always bag drags, but the thing about people that run drags over and over again, it becomes a repetition. And the more reps you take, the more stamina decrease and decline that you have. And then next thing you know, fumbles happen or yards get shorter, you know, field gets smaller, you know, eventually turnovers are bound to happen. So just something to kind of take note of. We'll go back and look at the back end of the coverage. The outside quarter with a crossman safety. Obviously the safety does get turned around a little bit. The vert hook with the mid read. Just going to take that away. These guys are manned up. He's manned up. Now what I could do as another thing is with this double A gap, you can kind of play with your packages a little bit here. I'm going to show you why. Because like I said, last year I was just big on rushing 4. And I feel like with this team, we can still just rush 4. But you kind of go into your packages so that you can kind of change things if you need to, right? And then I'll I'll switch the plays up shortly after. Alright, so you got your outside quarter, cross man, you can cross man, man, and then hook. You know, you could play like that and then have your vertical hook right there. So you could have two hooks and a backside quarter shit. Okay? You could also set your line up to play anything that's going to be a run, and then we'll just run the play as is. Just kind of see how the adjustments work. For the most part, that wasn't too bad. Except we always want to leave room for improvement. So this was with the safety crossman outside quarter on Devontae with the vert hook underneath. With the vert hook with the crossman into the hook curl. This is the crossman straight on the tight end. Actually had some help with the vert hook to break down since he already passed his coverage over, which is why I like some of the match coverages in this game. They will play bracket to wherever, you know, whatever routes are getting open. So if you combine man coverage with some of these zones, you can pretty much bag just about any formation, especially once you get used to, you know, making the adjustments. It's not necessarily something that you have to overthink. You just have to compensate for whatever it is that you have on the field. Okay, so for instance, sometimes I might go 2 quarters on the outside, and I might feel like that I want to cross man the safety. So what I might do is I might put a quarter or a vertical hook, like I might put him in a vertical hook or a straight hook curl so he can take the dig away. Let him man up. I might cross man Collins and then just play like a vertical hook, like hook curl with a vertical hook, and then hook curl over there. Like a cross man on Waller. You're pretty much free to do whatever you want when you use it. And we just sit over here and just play bracket off. Like I said, he's not going to go anywhere deep. As long as the AI doesn't go deep in practice mode, you know that, you know, whatever it is that you're doing is going to be pretty good. Now, I want to further elaborate on what I'm doing in some more popular formations that you might see. Okay, so let's say we're dealing with someone that likes to come out in anything where they got tight sets, right? Let's kind of go into tights. And let's say we're dealing with mesh switch. You'll see that a lot of people doing stuff like this. One way to kind of deal with mesh switch that I start off with when I first see it is I just want to put both outside quarters and soft squats. That's the first thing that I do or even worry about when dealing with this formation. Okay, I'm not going to make any other adjustments until I feel like something is beating me. Okay, so y'all always start stock just like that, as I've been teaching you guys earlier. The only adjustment after that that you can do is the weak side. I want you to back this soft squat off. Leave the strong side shallow in case that running back goes to the flat. Okay. Other than that, because you know you have a soft squat, your user is basically going to be freelancing on this side looking for something. Now you can make adjustments in a minute. You can make adjustments when you start seeing what's beating you, and we'll go through the process as it happens. But for right now, let's just go ahead and just run it as is, just with the 2 soft squats. So obviously he's going to run the quick cross, so we're going to slow it down. You can see soft squat plays the outside leverage. Soft squat stays outside, plays the outside leverage. Now, You can opt to play hook curls or you can man them up, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna play man them up. And then just back him up, okay? And then just play one at a time, play takeaway. Okay, so now he gets me with the other one. So what I can do is I can cross man that receiver with my user. Play the saw squat. And then I might opt to back both of them up, and because I know that he's going to, I'd probably put both hook curls right there and do it like that. And then just watch 13 wherever he goes. So now look there. See, just adjust as things happen. Like I said, saw squat, vert hook, and then you can set your blitz up by moving to the weak side. If you feel like, you know, that's what they're going to do, you can kind of play around with what you want to do. You can bring this safety on this side so that you can, you know, latch onto your assignment a lot faster. So if you feel like he's going to cross underneath, you can stay underneath him just like that. And as you can see down the field, he has nothing. And that is the easy way to stop mesh concepts from tight formations, okay? So slow it down one more time so that you guys can see the coverage. Notice I didn't have to worry about any mesh corner posts. Corner routes were defended by the saw squat. As I can show you right here, it's the easiest way to defend those corner routes. See how he's playing that corner? You can worry about the flat with your user. You can get underneath him. Not going to worry too much about this running back until he decides to throw it to him. So if you wanted to, even if, you know, he's behind the line of scrimmage by like 5 yards, okay? So even by the time he does get the ball, that zone's going to, you know, catch up to him real quick. So it's not like necessarily you have to, you know, worry too much about him off the gate. So we can go ahead and run it again like this. And if it is an issue, you can always put a hard flat over there with that soft squat, and then, like I said, just back those guys off. And then you can play the strong side and basically just man up that outside receiver like that, okay? And then, like I said, wherever he goes, you run with him. And he has nowhere to go. So slow it down one more time. You see the hard flat plays low, soft squat plays like a cloud curl flat, deep just by backing it up. See how it's playing that leverage where crossers usually will try to kill those drop zones, or people are looking for when they try to roll out or anything. But the other thing that I like about this is you're not necessarily getting beat by match principle beaters either. So you have all the advantages of man coverages with none of the weaknesses. You have all the advantages of running match coverages with none of the weaknesses, because everything's going to get bracketed off and everything's going to kind of get, you know, passed over like, you know, match defense is supposed to. You know, usually people would run those two crossers and they'd run a vertical to, you know, and take the safety out of position, but we leave our safety in man coverage on the tight end, as I strongly intend and suggest that you guys do. Never not have that tight end manned up with the safety, because anybody else manned up on him is a mismatch. Okay, so just make sure that your safety is manned up on that tight end. That's the best way to defend them. There's a lot of tight ends in this game that, you know, leave them one-on-one with the island. They're either too big for a corner to defend, or they're too fast and agile for a linebacker to defend. But you don't want to necessarily leave yourself in those positions, okay? But other than that, that's usually how we're going to run the soft squats, and then I'll kind of, tomorrow we'll break down the inside quarter adjustments and so on and so forth. Hopefully this teaching method helps people a little bit better moving forward. And like I said, my Cash App is in the description if anybody wants to donate to the channel for more videos like this. And as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and we will get more into this as the season goes.